I tell you,
from
sir.
you.
I tell you, sir.
Show me the proof of the Trinity, God. I challenge you, God.
Jesus
Never said I am God. Jesus never said worship me. Jesus said my Father is greater than I. Jesus taught us how to pray to the Father.
said he had a God.
Jesus said that the Father is the King of the heaven, and through me you go there. Through my ways.
Sir, do you pray like Jesus?
Don't change the
I
topic.
pray closer to Jesus.
No.
Closer to Him.
Jesus taught you.
Before I pray, I wash myself with water and I bow down just like the Jews. I pray closer to the Jews. I'm closer to the original Christians.
All right. When Jesus was praying in the garden,
How did he
Gethsemane?
How did he pray?
Did he have water to wash his hand?
How do you know that?
That's not mentioned.
Maybe he had wudu already.
Mentioned. We can't jump to
Not only that,
conclusion.
how did he pray?
Listen, there's a
Because hang on. I know the Muslims, they repeat the same prayer every day.
Everyone prays the same.
You are repeating the
Wherever
same
you
thing
go,
over
everyone
and
prays
over
the
and
same.
over.
But you don't pray like Jesus, do you?
Pray the same.
Do you put your forehead on the floor? Do you?
Do you pray like the Jews?
Putting the head on the ground,
Like
that
Jesus.
means you are
Like
praying
Jesus.
effective prayer.
Sorry? Also, so Jesus was
He
wrong.
told us to pray
Our
like this.
scripture tells us
Yes.
the fervent, effectual prayer of a righteous man.
How did Jesus
availeth
pray?
much.
How did Jesus pray, John?
Because if you are not righteous,
John,
your prayer
how
is in
did
vain.
how did Jesus
Talking about the
pray?
spiritual
Did he put his
side.
forehead on the
I'm
floor?
talking about the
My dear
ritualistic
friend.
side.
Did he?
Jesus prayed in many ways.
But what did he pray by putting his forehead on the floor?
Who did he tell you? Pray like you see me
Yes.
pray.
Doesn't mean you are praying the right prayer.
How did so Jesus was wrong? So was he praying the wrong prayer?
Jesus was holy.
Was he
He
praying?
was righteous.
So who was he
He
praying to?
was not like you.
Who was he praying
You're
to?
a sinner,
Who
but
was he
Jesus
praying to?
was pure.
But you're a sinner too.
So your prayer is different from Jesus'
But
prayer.
he told
Are you
us
not a
to pray
sinner?
like him.
Are you not? I'm not going to because you become a hate preacher. I'm
You
sorry.
see, I'm not a
I
hate
used to
preacher.
respect you before, but now you become a hate preacher. Yes, you are.
No. That's besides the point.
If you're going to stereotype all Muslims,
Are you here to learn? I'm a young man. You're older than me. You know more than me. Probably.
Even young
I'm here
people
to
can
learn.
know more
I'm
than
here to
older
learn.
people.
The reason
I'm
I'm
doing
doing
this
Bible in your
place.
hand is to teach me to the right path. I'm asking you genuine questions. I'm not trying to impress the crowd. I'm asking you genuine questions. My Quran teaches me that the reason Jesus is not the Son of God is because he's like a prophet, just like all the other prophets. We have to believe in him and honor him. There's a verse in the Quran that talks about Mary. Yeah, there's no other lady mentioned in the Quran that's got a chapter named after her by name. Yeah, I respect Jesus. I believe that he's the Messiah and he's gonna come back. He's the one that's gonna come back, not Muhammad. So I respect it. I just don't understand where this concept of Trinity came from, because it wasn't original while Jesus was there. It's never been mentioned by Jesus directly in the Bible. Or any prophets. Or any prophets. It's only been mentioned by the people up after him. All the religions, the Abrahamic religions, are monotheistic. They believe in one God. It's only this Bible, the new Bible, that's come with this perspective. Even when I look at the very same Bible, there's verses that show that Jesus humbles himself. He says, my Father is greater than I. Pray to the Father like you see me pray. There's many verses that say this. I'm trying to understand where this concept of the three equals one. Three components equal one God. And whether these three components are equal in stature.
So one thing you got to know, there are three that bear records in heaven.
What does that mean? Sorry.
The Father,
Sorry.
hang on, sir, you give me a chance to explain. The Father,
reading from King James.
the Father,
All the other
and the
Bibles taken
Word,
down.
and the Spirit.
John 5:7.
The reason why I say this, which is in the scripture, when God was creating the world, the earth,
Which God?
hang on, sir.
Which God?
I'm talking about the God of Abraham, the God of Jacob, the God of
All three of
Israel.
them at the same time colluded
I
and
tell you,
created the
sir,
world. But the
hang on, my brother. The only true God that we know is the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob. That is the God. Hang on, my brother.
The God of Jesus.
You have been talking, I've been listening. Now it's
Don't
time.
forget that. It's so important.
Yeah. So you can know when God was creating the world.
Alhamdulillah, man.
The Bible
Okay.
says the Spirit
back,
of
you guys?
God.
Do you recognize
The
Of course, man.
Spirit
Yeah.
of God
From Belgium, is it?
went in the firmament.
Netherlands.
Netherlands, yes.
And when the Spirit
Netherlands.
went
Let's
in
see
the
much on
firmament,
watching everything
then
down.
God spoke the word. Let there be light, and there was light. And this confirms what I've just said to you, that there are three that bear record in heaven, the Father, the Word, and the Spirit. But the Word, sir, became the womb of Mary, and he became Jesus.
Hang
on, brother. Hang on, brother. Brother, I'm going to make this point for you to understand. Hang on, you have been talking for a long time.
No.
Let me speak. So this word came and in the womb of Mary, and he became a child.
Okay, that's fine.
He became a child. And not only that, you made the statement that Jesus is the same like all other prophets. No, that's not true.
In the Quran,
No.
In the Quran, it says, it talks about different prophets, and it says there's prophets that haven't been mentioned as well. I'm a humble human being. I don't have the right to judge the qualities of these pious
got the
people.
right to say
They
whatever you
all
want
cross
to
a certain threshold, which is that of prophethood. Okay, all of them, in my opinion. So they're all better than me. But I'm not one to say this prophet is better than this prophet, or this prophet is better than this prophet. I respect all of them. Just going back to the points that you made. The first point you said there's three that bear
record in heaven. The Father, the Word, and the
What does that mean, bear record in heaven? Because when I look at it semantically, it doesn't mean that there's three which are God. It just says that there's three which are recognized in heaven. That's the first point. Wait, sorry, let me just continue. You said, and then God's word, So when you speak, you believe you've got a spirit and a soul and a body, a physical form. I don't distinguish between you, whatever your name is, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be with whoever you are. I don't distinguish between your soul as a different person or your voice as a different person. They're all components of you. Now you said God, which I believe is the Father, spoke, and that word then becomes a distinguished part of him. It's still a component of God. I don't believe why you distinguish between his word. If his word, because we believe in the Quran, there's a principle that says, God says kun fayakun. So God says be and it is. So I think that's the resemblance between the word. Whatever God says happens, okay? I don't say that the word becomes a distinguished part of God. It might be a component of him. I don't know if God has a soul or spirit or not. But God says he breathed from his soul into Adam, the clay, and Adam became a person. I don't go and make judgments about what that soul is, and if his soul makes a resemblance to us, and if it's a distinguished feature. I look at clear-cut things. Clear-cut things. Abraham worshipped one God. Moses worshipped one God.
Not the Trinity.
Jesus worshipped one God.
That is your explanation.
Shows in the Bible.
Before Jesus spoke in the womb.
Brother.
Let me just finish one point. Jesus spoke in the womb of Mary, but he didn't.
No, that's a lie.
Okay, even if it is a lie. Okay, that's not a problem.
No, he spoke when he was a baby.
No,
in the cradle.
Regardless.
He spoke in the cradle.
No, he didn't even he never spoke as a baby.
You were not given that information.
Leave him.
That's not true.
You were not given that.
That's a lie.
Okay,
that's a lie.
That's not a problem, brother. But he didn't do no miracles until how old was he? What was he doing?
Jesus started doing miracles when he was at the age of 30.
At age of 30. So up until the age of 30, he was a normal human being, but still God. Did he know he was God up until the age of 30?
I tell you, I will
Does
tell
God
you.
need to hit puberty to start doing miracles?
When Jesus went
What
in
was
a
he doing?
synagogue, when he went in a synagogue, he found the teachers, very clever teachers of the law. It's the same thing like the imams or the scholars, Muslim scholars. They know the Quran more than a lot of people here. So he went to those people and they asked him questions from the Torah. Jesus was able to answer everything. Every word,
as you'd expect if he was good.
Word for word, scripture to scripture.
Because that is his
and
scripture.
not only that, first of all, we got to
He
look,
wrote it.
sir, we got to look at the birth of Jesus. How was it? Hang on, because we have to put all the thing into consideration.
Before you go there, we talk about principle in Islam, right? In Islam, we've got no problem with miracles. Whatever miracle, to define a miracle is something that wouldn't otherwise come about by the natural laws of the world. So anything that looks completely abnormal, that breaks the laws of physics, we accept. Reason being is we accept God can do anything. God could break the laws of physics, he's the one that put them in place. So the fact that Jesus was born without a father is no problem to us, because we also believe that God made Adam without a father and without a mother. And that's not a problem to us. The fact that Jesus, even in the Bible it says, through the will of God, through God's permission, breathed life into clay and cured the lepers, that's not a problem to us, because that's just a miracle. And in the Bible it says it's through the will of God that he does it
that's
anyway.
fair enough.
So any miracle that Jesus says does not prove his divinity. I want to say, I want you to show me anywhere where Jesus tells us to worship him.
I will say to you that Jesus was more than all the prophets that ever lived and existed. You talk, let me talk. He was different, totally different.
In what sense?
First of all, the birth of Jesus.
But the birth of Adam
Adam was not born. He was created from clay.
Even more
and God
impressive.
breathed upon him.
What about Eve?
more impressive.
He cannot be more impression than the birth of
Melchizedek? What about
Jesus.
Eve?
You know why?
I can give so many
Do you
more.
know why? Because Adam ended up disobeying God. Disobeying God. That's why we believe sin came into the world because of Adam's disobedience.
That's a lie.
Did Jesus have the original sin?
Jesus
Did Mary have original sin?
Mary is a
Mary had the original sin.
Yes.
So Mary's a sinner, yeah?
Yes.
So Jesus is Mary's son, right?
Yes, sir.
So why is that sin not transferred?
He cannot transfer because
Why
sin
not?
originated from a man. When a man
only men can
have
sin.
I tell you, sir.
So the sin
I
comes-
will tell you, sir.
Okay.
I tell you. A man
It takes a man and a woman to have a
Hang
child.
on, hang on, don't get excited.
Because
It takes a man and a woman to have a
Hang
child.
on, brother. Hang on.
It takes two to tango.
Let him finish.
Hang on. When a man gets married, he gives birth. I mean, he have relationship intimate with a woman. They will have children. And children come because a sperm enters, a sperm from a man
Okay, this biology.
entered into a woman, and the woman
Exactly.
give birth.
Both.
And the blood lineage always comes
Both.
from the man.
No, it depends.
It comes from the man.
It depends. If you're Jewish,
Hang on.
it comes from the
Because
mother.
they
Jesus
change
was
it,
Jewish.
they change it.
Jesus was Jewish.
Like, okay, Arabs,
Jesus was
hang on,
Jewish.
hang on, the Arabs,
Yeah.
there is a similarity in their
There isn't.
culture a little bit.
No,
hang on, sir.
Go.
Hang on. An Arab or Indian or wherever, they always take the lineage from a man.
Okay. Not
So
the Jews,
if I have children,
but not the Jews.
they will call that child, even from a different tribe in my country, Kenya, whatever. So the child is classified like the child comes from my tribe as a man.
So why is the line of David?
It's fine.
Why is the line of
It's
David?
fine. That's not.
Did he have a father?
2 points.
The line of David
Exactly.
is from the father.
But he didn't have a
The
father.
Jews changed.
No, but he didn't have a father.
David had a father.
No, Jesus did not have a father.
He didn't have a father.
So why is the line of David?
Why? You know why they mention
John, answer the question.
Hang on,
Why does
hang
it
Go on.
say-
hang on, that's a
Why
good
does
question.
it say this? Is all
Hang
Okay,
on,
okay, let's see
let
how
me
the
answer
answers then.
it
Okay,
first. Hang
let's see how
on,
the
brother.
answers then.
We are coming.
Line of David, go on, answer.
Why is made into the line of David?
Yes, why?
Because Joseph comes from the lineage
That
of
wasn't his
David.
father.
And Joseph is a foster father.
But
That's
not the
why they do
father.
that. The fact
Let's go to
that Mary came from, Jesus
The
came from
simplest
the
point.
womb of Mary.
3 things.
But
But
Joseph
yet didn't
wasn't his
have-
father.
Yet didn't have, of course he's not the father.
Let me give you 2 points.
Sir,
Why is the line of
sir,
David then?
Sir, hang on. Let me finish with this, brother. Then we cut
Brother,
it.
it's a really-
The lineage came because Joseph is a father.
wasn't his father.
of
We know
Jesus.
that.
Hang on,
It's not
sir.
his biological father.
Hang on. It's not a biological.
The line
That's
is
why-
always determined from the biological
I
father,
tell you,
not
sir,
from foster
I tell you,
parents.
sir, in this case, the lineage came from the foster father Joseph. Because, sir, nobody
But you know
can,
that's wrong.
Hang on, sir, nobody can trace the lineage of Jesus.
Okay.
Somebody who doesn't have a father, you can trace the lineage.
Okay, 3
It's
points.
impossible.
Exactly.
But they brought it in approximately by using the lineage of Joseph simply because Joseph got married to Mary.
admit it's
That's
wrong.
why-
Just admit it.
That's
In the
why.
Quran-
That's why.
In the Quran, when we talk about the original,
No,
first
it's
thing,
alright,
in the Bible, it says, no
that from him?
son can bear the sins of his father. That's very clear. In the Jews, in the Hebrew, it's very clear that a son, if your dad is a murderer, there's no reason you as his son should get punished. That's from testimony. That's point number 1. Point number 2, in the Quran, when it describes the incident of original sin, it doesn't place blame on women. It doesn't say that women get punished with childbirth and things like this because of the original sin. It doesn't say that Eve was the one that convinced Adam to eat from the apple. This is ambiguous. Where do you find this? You find this in the Bible.
So,
the Bible talks
all right,
about, let me just finish my point. The Bible is the one that places blame on Eve. So if you're looking at it from that perspective, original sin should come from the woman because the woman is the one that got the man to eat from the apple. That's the second point. The third point is you're talking all about lineage and this and that. I'm an Arab myself. It's fine if I take my lineage from my father. Jesus was a Jew. The Jews take lineage from their mother. So all the points that you're saying is absolutely irrelevant.
It's
That's
not
wrong, bro.
irrelevant.
That's wrong.
I will tell you
He
this.
takes it from the father in the
Do
Jewish
you know that
tradition.
there are some parents, a father who could be a totally drunkard.
Yeah?
And when the father is a drunkard, one of the son will be a drunkard.
Not necessarily.
It is because
we get that from
something that has been happening for years.
Sociology, looking at psychology.
You can't wipe it down, my friend.
No. It's not genetically passed on.
I tell you, my dear friend.
A child who sees his father constantly drinking might be more prone to drink as well because that's the environment he was brought up in. It's not genetically.
Sir, I'm not talking about a genetic.
What are you talking
I'm
about?
talking about something that has been happening for years.
Okay.
It's not only one parent or one family whereby the father has been a drunkard and then all of a sudden the son becomes a drunkard.
Have the original sin?
You know, original sin come about because Adam disobeyed God. I know Eve was the one that disobeyed God first.
Exactly.
And if Adam did not accept it, Adam could have never been a sinner.
So
but because, hang on, Adam accepted to eat that fruit, that means sin came upon Adam as well.
Which sin?
It doesn't mean who is
sin
the first.
Came to whose mind
sir,
first?
It doesn't mean,
sin came to whose mind first?
It doesn't matter whose mind sin has come to.
Why?
Imagine if I got a son.
If you was sitting,
sir,
if you was at home, if you was at home, minding your own business, and I called you and I said, come, let's go sell some drugs, and I came and picked you up in my car, and just before you stepped in the car, you was like, I'm not sure if I want to do it, and I convinced you to do it.
And I did it.
Do I not bear some of that sin?
And I did it.
No. You're not okay. You're not forgiven.
Sorry.
You're sinful. But I am more sinful.
Sir,
no?
if you tell me to go and sell drugs, and obey to do, and I sell the drugs, if I'm caught with the, hang on, sir. If the police catches me, I will be guilty.
And so will I.
I will be guilty. I'm on, sir. You talking, you talk, you don't want me to talk. If I do sell the drug and I'm being caught, I will be accountable of what I've done.
But if I called you,
I am guilty as well as you that introduced me.
But if I called you and told you, let's go sell drugs, you decided no, the police took my phone and looked at it and found out that I tried to convince you to sell drugs, I get done for conspiracy, which is more than actually selling the drugs.
I tell you, it's the same thing.
So the law recognizes the influence I had on you.
You called me
if I obey
to do it,
if I'm trying to convince you to do it,
I am as guilty as you are. Because if I did not accept to sell that drug,
we both did the sin and I convinced you to do it.
That means you are guilty, I am guilty.
Look, in
because
law,
I would have been, hang on, sir. I would have not been guilty if I've refused to do what you tell me to do.
You want to talk about law? In law, for a crime to be a full crime, there needs to be two components. There needs to be something called the actus. For a crime to be committed, there's two components. There needs to be something called the actus reus, and there needs to be something called the mens rea. The actus reus is the physical act taking place. The mens rea is the intention behind the act, okay? So for you to commit murder, you can kill someone, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's murder. It could be a manslaughter, okay? But you need to have the intention behind it. You brought law into the equation. You know there is
discrepancy in law. Hang on, sir.
Law is not.
There is discrepancy in law. If a man kills his fellow man,
my point is,
hang on, brother. If a man, hang on, sir. If a man, hang on. If a man kills his fellow human being, he is guilty.
Huh?
He is guilty of murder.
What if a doctor kills a human being?
He's guilty.
No, he's not. It's manslaughter.
He's guilty.
No, he's not.
Well, this is just law.
It's manslaughter.
It is just law. It's not. You see, they said manslaughter, and yet he has killed a man.
Okay, when Christians
you kill somebody, you have murdered somebody.
When Christians go out to war, did they classify it as murder? They didn't.
If anyone goes
if it was a holy war, there was an intention behind it to spread Christianity.
Sir,
it was not murder.
There is no,
because the intention was right.
Hang on, sir. There is no such thing like a holy war. War is war.
Okay.
Because war involves murder, involves destruction, involves damaging of properties.
I agree with you, but it's happened.
You know, that is war.
But it's happened.
That is war.
It's in history.
Yes,
it's happened.
I know Crusaders. Yes,
it was justified
you
by
know
the
why
Bible.
the Crusaders went for war? They didn't understand the teaching of Christ.
Okay.
The teaching of Christ. Hang on, sir. This is what the Bible tells us.
No.
The teaching of Christ.
That's two things.
Hang on, sir. The teaching of Christ does not involve violent activities. Yeah. If it was so, then the disciple of Jesus would have gone with a sword, killing people left and right?
No.
Remember Peter?
No.
Hang on, sir. Remember Peter
No.
at the Garden of Gethsemane?
No. Okay.
He went and drew a sword and he cut the ears of a man called Malchus. But what did Jesus say? Jesus rebuked him.
Yep.
He said, if you kill by a sword, you die by a sword. And he picked up the ear of that man and put it back. So Jesus never accepted any violence. That's why his disciples, hang on, sir, his disciples were not involved in anything that is physical destruction. They were involved in spreading the word. Because it's a verbal thing.
Because Jesus is a smart man. At the time that Christianity was going on, Christians weren't a powerful people. There was very few Christians, and the empires at the time were very strong.
Nothing to do with powerful or weak.
It's logic. They wouldn't go to war.
No, that is your interpretation,
Why would Jesus tell a few people to go to war with a stronger civilization?
Sir, that is your interpretation.
David went to war.
Jesus said, I have come.
David went.
Hang on, sir. You got to know. You got to
know. The
know.
Old Testament went to war.
They went to war.
They went to war.
They went to war.
David and Goliath.
You know why the difference between Jesus and all other prophets?
Why?
Jesus' mission on earth was to save souls, not to destroy souls.
No, he wasn't.
Tell me one man that Jesus has ever killed.
Doesn't matter.
It does matter.
I don't know.
It does matter.
Jesus is not.
It does matter, sir. Otherwise, you will be contradicting yourself.
No, I didn't say Jesus
does
killed
matter.
Anyone. I didn't say Jesus killed
Show
anyone.
me one thing that Jesus did where blood was shed.
Brother, listen.
Where blood was shed.
When I accept something.
No, you tell me.
Well, I'll tell you.
It's not a matter of accepting.
I'll tell you.
You tell me one thing that Jesus ordered for his disciple to go and fight, to go and kill, or commit murder. Tell me one thing.
Can I tell you?
Tell me.
Now, a Muslim accepts.
Don't talk about Islam. You tell me about. We are not talking about Islam here. We are talking about what Jesus authorized his follower to go and commit a murder. Don't bring Islam there. We are not talking about Islam here. We are talking about Jesus.
Okay, no problem.
Stick to the Bible.
If I was a Christian, when I accept the Bible, I accept.
That has got nothing. You know you are running away.
No, I'm not.
You are not.
Let me put in context.
You are not.
Let me put in context. Let me put in context.
Sir, if you
Let me put in context for you. It's okay. Let me put in context for you. When I accept the Bible, I accept the whole of the Bible. Just like when I accept the Quran, I accept the whole of the Quran. Now the Bible, you understand, is composed of two parts. There's the Old Testament and there's the New Testament.
Yes.
Jesus comes along and says, the Old Testament is old, I am updating some things, which is like the point you said earlier. When Jesus says submitting, talks about adultery.
You see, you are bringing your own explanation.
When you look at a woman,
nothing to do with
when you're looking at a woman lustfully, let me tell you, when I look at a woman lustfully, it's like committing adultery. Yes? Was that in the Old Testament? When I look at a woman lustfully,
hang on. I'm just telling you, don't bring your own interpretation on what Jesus did. Because if you bring your own interpretation, you have messed up everything.
So whose interpretation do we take?
It must be from the scripture.
How many scriptures? There's not one Bible. If there was one Bible, if there was the old sea scrolls and that was clear, there's more than one Bible.
So of course there's more than one Bible.
Why?
Do you know why? We got millions of people on earth. Why should we have only one Bible? We got millions of people on earth.